The bedroom has become one of the most productive manufacturing spaces in the country, and the equipment making that possible has dropped in price faster than most people realize. Laser engravers, sublimation printers, direct-to-film systems, embroidery machines, and freeze dryers that would have required a commercial facility 10 years ago now run quietly in spare bedrooms at entry costs that a part-time operator can recover within a single season. Access to this equipment is no longer the differentiating factor. What separates operators who build real income from operators who buy machines and watch them sit unused is a clear-eyed understanding of what each machine actually costs to run, what it realistically produces per hour of operation, and who consistently pays for that output. That understanding takes longer than the purchase decision, which is why the machines keep selling and the businesses keep failing at the same rate. The operators who last long enough to turn a machine into a sustainable income source almost always describe the same pattern. They started with one machine, learned it completely, built a customer base around it, and only then looked at what a second machine would add to an operation that was already working. The first machine is a desktop laser engraver. Diode lasers from Xtool, SculptFun, and AtomStack cost between $300 and $800 and engrave wood, leather, anodized aluminum, and dark acrylic with enough detail to produce commercially viable output. The step up to an enclosed CO2 laser, models like the Xtool P2 or OMTX 60 watt, adds glass engraving and plywood cutting at a cost between $2,000 and $6,000. The revenue model runs on personalization because personalization creates perceived value that is structurally disconnected from material cost. A maple cutting board that costs $8 wholesale becomes a personalized wedding gift at $55 retail. Cork coasters under $1 each sell as engraved sets for $12 to $18 per piece. Those margins are real, but so is the time investment per order. Designing files, running the machine, finishing, packaging, and handling shipping and customer communication can consume 45 minutes of operator time per transaction. An operator generating $300 per week from laser engraving is a part-time job. That framing matters when evaluating whether the numbers represent a scalable business or a skilled side income that grows slowly with reputation. The second machine is a direct-to-film printer. DPF printing works by printing a design onto PET film, coating it with hot melt adhesive powder, curing that powder in a hot tunnel, and pressing the finished transfer onto a garment with a heat press. Entry setups using modified Epson printers cost $1,500 to $3,000. Purpose-built production systems from Prestige, Coldesi, and DTF Station run $5,000 to $15,000 and include wider print width, integrated powder shakers, and more reliable print heads. The commercial advantage over earlier garment printing methods is that DTF requires no pretreatment, works on any fabric color and composition, and allows single-unit orders with no setup cost. Material cost per custom shirt runs $3 to $7 depending on transfer size and blank quality, while retail price for individual orders runs $18 to $35. Printhead maintenance is the cost that consistently surprises first-year operators. Heads require daily flushing when the machine sits idle, and replacement when they fail costs $200 to $600 per event, which can erase the profit from several weeks of production in a single repair. The third machine is a commercial embroidery unit. Single head machines from Brother, Tajima, and Ricoma with 10 to 15 needle configurations cost $5,000 to $15,000 new, or 40 to 60% of that price used. The embroidery business model is built on repeat institutional orders rather than individual consumer transactions. Corporate polo shirts, hotel monogramming, organizational patches, and sports team caps represent the revenue streams that make the economics work at residential scale. A single head machine can complete a standard cap logo in 6 to 10 minutes at a gross margin of $4 to $7.50 per piece after thread, backing, and stabilizer costs. Operators who build durable embroidery income do so by developing anchor accounts, meaning businesses that place consistent monthly orders for the same or similar items. An anchor account ordering 50 embroidered items per month is worth more to the long-term stability of the operation than 50 individual customers who each order once and then never return. The fourth machine is a vinyl cutter. Systems from Cricut, Silhouette, and professional-grade plotters from Roland and Graphtec cut adhesive vinyl, heat transfer vinyl, cardstock, leather, and fabric from a computer-generated cutting path. Entry machines start below $300, and the product categories they serve include vehicle decals, iron-on designs for apparel, custom event signage, and layered paper crafts. Vinyl material costs 30 cents to $2 per square foot for standard colors, which creates significant margin on finished products when the operator manages labor per unit efficiently. The market for standard vinyl products is competitive because the barrier to entry is genuinely low. Operators who generate consistent income from vinyl cutting either serve a specific customer segment with specialized design work, offer same-day local delivery that online competitors cannot match, or bundle vinyl application with another output category to create products that are harder to replicate at scale. The fifth machine is a sublimation printer. Sublimation transfers dye directly into the polymer structure of a coated substrate using heat and pressure, producing a print that does not crack, peel, or fade under normal use conditions because the dye becomes part of the surface rather than sitting on top of it. The limitation is that the process only works on substrates with sufficient polyester content, either in fabric for garments or in a specialized coating applied to hard goods like mugs, phone cases, tiles, and aluminum panels. Entry setups using converted Epson printers cost $300 to $800, while purpose-built systems from Sawgrass offer better color consistency at higher cost. The product mix centers on branded merchandise, promotional items, and personalized gifts because those categories attract buyers who value full-color photographic quality and pay a premium for output that screen printers and embroiderers cannot replicate. Margin per unit is favorable on a percentage basis, but consistent throughput from a repeat customer base is required for the equipment investment to be financially justified. The sixth machine is a UV flatbed printer. UV printers cure ink instantly using ultraviolet light, which allows them to print on rigid materials like wood, glass, metal, acrylic, and stone without special surface preparation or coating. Desktop units capable of A3 or larger output cost $3,000 to $15,000 depending on resolution and build volume. Product categories include custom signage, printed phone cases, personalized gifts on wood and glass, promotional merchandise, and art replication on rigid panels. Margin per unit is among the highest on this list, partly because UV printing on rigid substrates produces visually distinctive output, and partly because the technology is less common in residential operations, which means less direct price competition at the local level. A UV-printed wood serving board with a full-color photographic design sells for $40 to $90 depending on size and complexity, and a custom-printed acrylic panel for a business lobby can command several $100s as a one-off production job. The seventh machine is an automated crafting system. The Cricut Maker 3 and Silhouette Cameo 4 cut over 300 materials, including vinyl, iron-on transfer, cardstock, felt, and leather, and they connect to design software ecosystems with libraries of commercially licensed designs. Home operators running these machines generate between $1,000 and $8,000 per month through Etsy, Faire, and local craft markets by producing custom stickers, greeting cards, party decorations, wedding favors, and home decor items. Unit economics are modest because the material costs, while low, are combined with significant time investment per item, which limits how far a single operator can scale without additional machines or production help. Seasonal demand is the primary driver in this category. Experienced operators plan production around holiday products and wedding season merchandise months in advance, treating those peaks as the core revenue opportunity rather than relying on consistent baseline demand throughout the calendar year. The eighth machine is a freeze dryer. Freeze drying removes moisture from food through sublimation. freezing the product and then applying a vacuum that causes ice to transition directly to vapor, producing shelf-stable products that retain their original color, shape, and nutritional content for 20 to 25 years in sealed packaging. Harvest Right manufactures the primary residential units, priced between $2,500 and $5,000 depending on chamber size. Freeze-dried candy became the most visible revenue category for home operators after the viral interest in the texture of freeze-dried Skittles, gummy bears, and taffy that emerged on social media platforms, starting in 2021. A single machine running at full capacity produces 10 to 14 batches per month due to the 20 to 36-hour cycle time per run, limiting gross revenue from one unit to roughly $1,200 to $2,500 monthly. Cottage food laws vary significantly by state and determine which products can be sold from a residential kitchen without a licensed commercial facility, which is the first legal question any new operator must resolve before investing in the equipment. Several states allow the direct sale of non-potentially hazardous foods, including freeze-dried candy, dried fruit, and similar products from residential kitchens, while others require a licensed shared-use commercial kitchen for any food sold to the public, a distinction that can make or break the economics before the first batch is ever produced. The ninth machine is a professional heat press, a quality dual swing or draw style press from Stahl's, Hicks, or George Knight costs $800 to $2,000 and provides the temperature consistency and pressure control that separates professional output from inconsistent results. Consumer heat presses priced below $200 produce uneven temperature distribution across the platen that manifests as failed transfers, scorched garments, and warranty claims. Operators who use a low-cost press to save on the equipment purchase end up spending more recovering from damaged customer orders than the price difference ever saved them. A professional press used in a bedroom operation producing 1,000 transfers per month recovers its cost within a few months and runs consistently for years with basic maintenance. Treating the heat press as core production infrastructure rather than an optional accessory fundamentally changes how a DTF, sublimation, or heat transfer operation budgets its capital. The 10th machine is a 3D printer. For home-based operators, the practical range includes FDM printers like the Bamboo Lab P1S and Prusa MK4 at $500 to $1,800, and MSLA resin printers from Elegoo and Frozen at $300 to $800. For FDM printing, established markets include custom replacement parts, tabletop gaming accessories, organizational products, and functional prototypes in thermoplastics, including PLA, PETG, and flexible TPU. The consumer market for printed objects is competitive and price-sensitive because global platforms like Etsy and Printful have made direct price comparison easy for buyers across every product category. Operators who generate meaningful revenue from 3D printing are almost uniformly either serving business customers who value turnaround time and dimensional accuracy over price, or they have built a niche consumer product around a design that is genuinely distinctive and difficult to replicate with the same machine on the same platform. Resin printing adds surface finish and detail resolution that FDM cannot match, making it the preferred technology for tabletop gaming miniatures, dental models, jewelry casting patterns, and prototype parts with fine surface features. Resin handling requires protective equipment, careful disposal of waste resin and wash solution, and a dedicated workspace with adequate ventilation, which adds logistical complexity to a bedroom-based operation that many operators underestimate before the first purchase. Across all 10 of these machines, the pattern that determines whether an operator builds a functional business or an expensive hobby is consistent. The equipment purchase is the beginning of the analysis, not the conclusion of it. Every machine on this list has a realistic throughput, a realistic margin per unit of output, a realistic time cost for running and maintaining it, and a realistic market size for the products it produces. The operator who works through those numbers honestly before buying will make fundamentally different decisions than the one who focuses on the theoretical maximum revenue and ignores everything that reduces it. A single, well-chosen machine that matches available time, existing skills, a defined target customer, and the available workspace will generate more income than several machines purchased impulsively because a product category went viral online. The machines are tools, and tools do not generate orders. The business is built around understanding who wants what the tool produces, how to reach those people consistently, and how to produce output at a quality level high enough that those people come back and tell others without being asked. The bedroom workshop is one of the most historically accessible starting points for a manufacturing business that has ever existed, and the machines available at current price points make the material side of that equation easier than at any previous moment. The part that has not changed is the requirement to build something around the machine that the machine itself cannot build, specifically a customer relationship, a quality standard, and a reason for someone to choose what one specific operator makes over every other option available to them with a few keystrokes.